Am I the asshole for refusing to help my sister with her house purchase and telling her and my stepfather that it's because of how they treated me as a child? I'm 29 female. When I was about 10, my mom married my stepfather. I have an older brother, Luke, who was 15. My stepfather had Amy and Ada, who were 12 and 11. We didn't come from a privileged background. My mom was a minimum wage worker and my dad was absent. Our stepfather had a very good income. Their deal was that they wouldn't combine finances, and they would each contribute equally to the household, and then each takes care of their children with their spare money. That's not a good start, so my mom never had anything for us, and my stepfather was spending big on his kids. This included holidays, which Luke and I were excluded from. Stepfather would pay for Mom, but not us. Luke and I also shared a room, even though Amy and Ada had their own rooms. And we had a guest room, because stepfather insisted that he was paying more towards the house, so my mom's share would only get her one room for the kids. This guy seemed like a Class A dick. Luke and I were constantly teased for this situation by the three of them as we grew up. My mom always said that we should be thankful because if it wasn't for our stepfather, we would not be living in a nice home in a good neighborhood. Yeah, Harry Potter. Anyway, Luke and I became determined to be able to take care of ourselves so that we wouldn't need to take nonsense from anyone. We have both done quite well with our careers and finances, and we are in a very good place. Since turning 18 and moving out, my relationship with the three of them has been very limited. I wouldn't call us friends, but we can exist peacefully if we were in the same place. I visited my mom recently and my stepfather mentioned that Amy wants to buy a house now that she's pregnant. Is this really another Amy? He asked me if I'm able to help out a little with the deposit. The house is $500K and she needs a $150K deposit. She has $100K so far, $25K on her own, $25K from her mom, and $50K from her stepfather. He was asking if Luke and I can help cover the extra $50K and he said he'd pay us back as part of the inheritance eventually. I said no. He insisted that Luke and I both own our houses outright, and with our incomes, we should be able to help. I said whether I can or not is irrelevant. My answer is no. He reminded me that Luke and I each gave $10K to our cousin for buying a house as a gift. Amy is my sister, and he's offering to pay us back. I said that was our choice then, and this is my choice now. He insisted that we should be willing to help our family out if we're able to. I replied back, like how you helped me and Luke when we were kids. Everyone just got quiet when I said this. After a while, he said if we went back in time, he'd have done things differently. Treated all four of us equally. I said, that's good of you, but it doesn't make you entitled to my money now. He said he knows he's not entitled. That's why he's asking and promising to pay it back. I said the answer still is no. Not entitled to a loan either. My mom later told me I could have turned him down without being an asshole or bringing up childhood, which he already feels guilty about. Am I the asshole? Hell no. Not on our ASCON scale at all. But I really want to know, how good did that feel to be able to tell him no? How good must that have felt to be able to tell this person who was just a straight dick to you as a child that they can't have your help? Bravo for setting boundaries and sticking to them. And you know what? You couldn't have turned him down without being an asshole because he kept pushing. If he hadn't have pushed, you wouldn't have got to the point where you said what you said about the childhood. But he pushed and pushed and pushed. And well, if you push hard enough, you're bound to find an asshole. What he found was a picture of himself and his life in which he has been a giant dick and an ASCON 1. Whoop, flip that meter over. I'm sorry that you had to go through this, and I am so happy, don't even know you, but I'm proud to see you thriving in life and having boundaries and having a real sense of self-worth. Cool. Good story. I'd love to read 1,000 like these. Amy in this story gets by semi-unscathed because she grew up with a dick of a dad, so she didn't know any different. She's still an asshole because she's part of this whole thing, but... Oh, and because she teased the other kids about her privilege as she grew up as well. So yes, she is an asshole, but the main ass of this story is the stepdad.